What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kpop Kimchi podcast, your number one podcast for girl groups with the number one fanboys. I am your host, Justin Turneau, with my co-host, Brian Limper. And we did it, folks. It's episode 1.
We did it.
We did it. We made it.
We managed to power through the one day we had to wait.
Yep.
So we could watch the first episode of Queendom.
It's Queendom time.
Shout
officially.
out to Vicky for having those 98% subtitles by the time we watched it.
Yep. They uploaded it quick. And
True.
that's what mattered.
Very true. So far, it's been pretty sick. Great show.
I can't lie. From what we've seen from the pre-show, I guess, to the first actual episode.
And the little opening episodes, which we did an awesome reaction video to.
Go check it out on YouTube. This has been the greatest thing ever. I love everything about Queendom so far.
Same.
It's like perfect. I just want more.
But before we get a recap for you, we have a big announcement.
Oh, yeah.
The winner of this year's girl group March Madness bracket is...
We really don't even need a drum roll.
Twice again. Repeat champions.
Good job,
So
Twice.
last year, Twice won the original inaugural one.
Yep.
And they beat the number 8 seed 3YE in the first round of 32. Then they beat the number 3 seed Oh My Girl in the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 A-Pink in the Elite 8. Number 1 Mamamoo in the Final 4. And then they beat number 1 Red Velvet to win the championship, right?
Okay.
Now this year, they beat number 8 Lightsome in the round of 32. Number 4 Weekly in the Sweet 16. Number 2 ITZY in the Elite 8. Number 1 Blackpink in the Final 4. And then, yet again, they beat number 1 Red Velvet to win the championship. I have to say, I think this year's a little more difficult than last year's. But to be completely honest with you, after looking at all the stats and the picks, not even close.
Yep, pretty much
Twice just dominates everybody.
Same as the real bracket. You know, you may see some crazy stuff happen early, but it always kind of bottles down to the normal people are on top, and that's what Twice did again, to no surprise to us. I mean, we're like, yeah, Twice is probably going to win again.
I mean, we literally picked him as our winner in the if you go listen to our episode,
very first one, we picked him to win, and was maybe a little different of who they had to play, but we did pick Twice as the winner. So congrats to them. You are the 2-time champ. And unless something crazy happens, I don't know why they wouldn't be 3-time champ next year. So
yeah, I feel like as long as they're around, they're just going to dominate.
If they're doing
everybody.
something, they're probably going to win. I didn't remember that it was the same championship as last year. I thought it was maybe flipped where it was like Red Velvet semis, Blackpink final, but it doesn't matter because
it's just Red Velvet versus Twice, and Twice won.
Twice wins every time.
So we've had the same 2 teams, or I guess 2 groups in the finals.
Yeah,
both years.
Seriously.
And both years it's had the same outcome.
The fans are going to get restless next year. But
I mean,
hey, you can't. They're unstoppable.
I'm honestly surprised by how many points that they beat Blackpink by.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I feel like, I could be wrong. Maybe it was just because when I voted it was early, so it like changed it a lot. But I feel like Blackpink had a closer, like some of their earlier rounds were maybe a little closer than I thought they'd be.
Oh, I was actually going to say that out of all the ones I was super shocked by, it's that Blackpink like almost lost like multiple times to different groups.
They were like pretty close with other groups that I was a little surprised about.
Yeah, because let's see, Blackpink and Dreamcatcher was actually 57-43, which is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
You can't really get much closer as far as like the K-pop voting goes.
Because honestly, depending on how many people actually voted, because I can't really look at it right now.
Yeah.
That literally could have been like maybe 1 or 2 votes.
Yeah, it could have been a lot. So
this one, BVZ or VVZ with Blackpink was pretty close for a little bit, and then like Blackpink just like took over. But the first little bit, but like I said, when it come to percentages on that, it could have been like 1 or 2 votes, and they lost by.
It just changed it a bunch, yeah.
But yeah, no, Blackpink had a couple close calls.
That was like the one thing I remember seeing a couple. I was like, that doesn't seem like it should be as close. But
another one that was kind of close was A-Pink and Kepler was pretty close, but Kepler lost to A-Pink.
Yeah.
Another one that was close for a little bit was WJason and Luna. I think there's only 1 or 2 upsets, actually. I know Fromis 9 destroyed Secret Number. I don't know how Secret Number got up that high to begin with.
I don't
And then
I don't even know what they've like
Everglow actually like just destroyed Idol too.
Yeah,
I was kinda shocked
that
by
was
that.
surprising.
Another one that was really close, I think it's separated by like 1 vote or 2 votes, was Stacy and Mamamoo.
Yeah.
I guess it just speaks volumes for the people who like Stacy.
It's just nice that we had some close matchups this year.
It is fun. Maybe one day we'll get something different, but till that happens.
Not this year.
2021, 2022 champs, twice. Two-time March Madness champions.
For all the peeps keeping track at home.
It's always fun just because the fans.
If you voted for twice, good job.
It's just always fun because the fans like vote on there, and some of them are like people that just like somehow see your stories but don't even follow us. So I don't.
You just you don't know where the people come from, but they get the votes in. So
it's true. Yeah, it's fun. I always like doing that just to see the different matchups.
See, yeah, I mean, we'll have it for next year.
So next year, maybe twice to get dethroned.
Maybe we just need to like add BTS in there to see if someone can.
That would be interesting to see BTS versus. That would
just
actually
like
be
add
really,
them instead of like a random. Like,
well,
just add them.
It'd be really interesting to just see like boy groups and girl groups.
Yeah, well, maybe next year we'll do that.
We'll have to crank. We're tired of seeing twice win. We're gonna crank it up a notch and make it more difficult.
I definitely think if it was like that, they wouldn't win. I don't know. You never know.
Twice.
You just don't. Yeah, you just don't know who people like.
I
don't
honestly
know
was
if
like
anyone that
maybe
sees it
Red
would
Velvet.
even care about like BTS. Who knows?
Well, I was like maybe Red Velvet's gonna win because it just had a comeback. It was awesome. Everyone's like super hyped about him. Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what we predicted anyway. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. even though we didn't pick.
it's just sometimes
Red Velvet's go to the final.
Sometimes when you're right, it's not always the most fun.
Yeah.
Just be like that sometimes.
We only had.
Because that was when we were trying to actually be like different too.
We only had one group wrong in the final four because we picked.
We tried to pick some upsets.
We picked Idol to go to the final, or not final. We picked them in the final four against Stacy.
Yeah, that was surprising. Idol.
They lost to Everglow. I was shocked by that.
And that wasn't even like me being like, yeah, let's try and make like a upset, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, they'll win. You know.
Well, Idol was a higher seed.
I was confident that they would win. So. Good for Everglow.
Yeah, no. Good to see they still got them fans out there.
Good to see the fans saw our posts and voted. That's what it's all about. But yeah, until next year, bracket.
Congratulations twice.
You've been the only champion so far.
I want to buy a plaque that has like their names. And
yeah, we can just put like the year. Yeah. Of, like each year.
But anyway, so there's our update for that. I don't really think there's too many other things to get updated on, to be honest with you. I haven't really bought too much lately. I haven't really. We talked a little bit about the comebacks and stuff that we saw or listened to.
Yeah, I don't know of anything recent like of last week coming out. I don't know if we said Big Bang is coming back finally. I don't know if we mentioned that at all, but they are having like teaser photos, so that's cool. I'm super hyped for it.
It should be in like a week or so.
I feel like it's going to be close. Big Bang is coming back. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm excited. It's been a really long time since they've come back, so that should be cool.
Oh, Purple Kiss came back.
Purple Kiss did come back.
And their comeback was sick.
It was really good.
I like Purple Kiss a lot. Cool.
I would suggest going and checking it out because it was really good. It's probably my favorite title track they've had so far.
They had like a more, I don't know, it wasn't really edgy rock like their debut or the pre-debut. It was more like a...
It's kind of like a...
I'm not really sure.
EDM-y type.
Yeah.
It was like a really good beat. It was like a really cool...
It was fun.
It was a really good song. Like
the video's sick.
The B-side's really good too.
Also, they have some of the best B-sides in K-pop, to be honest with you. All the B-sides are always good.
Their B-sides were really good. Oh My Girl had a comeback. It was okay. Wasn't my favorite. They had a lot of songs on their album. I don't know if it was an album, mini album, but there was a lot of songs on it. There were some okay B-sides.
I don't know. Way their B-sides were sounding, they're kind of like that neo-culture vibe, like EDM-y, hardcore industrial.
Some of it, they had definitely a lot of different vibes on that album. There was a lot, but the title track was okay. It wasn't my favorite from Oh My Girl, but that's okay because we still love them.
And regardless of what we say, you always have Dolphin. So
yeah, I mean, Oh My Girl is our legend. So
that's all that really matters.
I'm trying to think if anyone else came back that I can remember.
I don't remember if we talked about NCT Dream last time, but NCT Dream came back with Glitch Mode, and that whole album's freaking sick.
Yeah, that was really cool. Anything NCT does, pretty much when like finding out about NCT and like actually getting into them, I still really don't know that much. But when the groups come out with songs, they're usually like a hit. Like
they always
sick.
make good songs.
Like all the different groups, whatever, they're really good. So that was good. There's good B-sides on that too.
Also, I don't know if we talked about it last time, but KCON's coming to Chicago for a little premiere thing before actual KCON happens. And they announced the lineup finally, and it's B2B, Gravity, Inmix, Stacy, and TO1.
Yeah.
For anybody who's curious
That's
about
the
that.
Chicago lineup, or if anyone... I don't know if anyone is going. We're going to go, or at least plan on it, on the Saturday, which is B2B, Stacy, and TO1.
Yes.
We're going to try
Or, I guess apparently it's 2.
2-1?
2, just TOO.
Oh. Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know either. But that's the group. But yeah, we're planning on going up Saturday. Should be cool. I'm like pretty excited for it. So since we're like getting into Stacy more, I'm actually very pumped to see them. And I never thought we'd actually see B2B, so here we go. You know, life works in mysterious ways.
It's true. Oh, it says these guys are on road to Kingdom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. I guess I've been around a little longer than I thought.
We were you already found like some music from them, and we were like planning to listen to them a little bit just to kind of get like a heads up of what to expect.
Their song "No More X" is sick.
It was really cool. So that should be fun.
They're formed on a reality show too called "To Be World Class" in 2019.
Really, man.
And their
let's just have another reality show to watch.
Their label is Wake One. So
there was man. That's just like I just love that name so much. Wake it's just so cool. But
Wake.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like my nickname.
Wake.
Just because it's so I don't know, something about it is so cool.
There you go. Change your name to Wake.
To Wake, but yeah, KCON's coming to Chicago, a premiere thing. So we'll get to see B2B 2 and Stacy, which should be very fun. We don't even know that many details about it. We just know the date and we know the people that are going to be there. That's pretty much it. But if you're going to go to KCON in Chicago,
we should be there.
We'll be there on Saturday. Let us know. So that's exciting. It'll be exciting to actually go to a concert again.
True.
And it's a good thing we didn't go see P1 Harmony a few weeks ago.
Because it got canceled.
It got canceled like 2 hours before.
The whole show got canceled. People found out about it in line to go see the show.
Because they had a staff member get sick, so they canceled the Chicago show. And then I think a few more staff members got sick, and the rest of the tour was canceled. So, yeah, you sent me that comment. I was like, wow, found out about this in line. I'm like, that sucks.
That's why we didn't go. So sorry if you're the one that got found out about
that.
I
feel really bad for that person because I would feel so bad.
That is rough. Speaking of rough.
Did we? Oh, we said... Yeah, we already said we're going to see Stray Kids. Oh, that's not for a while. I was just very excited about that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be sick. But speaking of rough, we got a Queendom episode to come.
Yeah, Queendom, episode 1. Here we go.
So we started watching the first episode. For those of you who don't know, it's available through Viki, which is like a streaming platform available on mobile devices like your laptop. Don't know if it's available on your smart TV or not. I just hooked it up to an HDMI cable after I created an account on my computer or laptop.
And it worked.
Yeah, and it had subtitles and everything. But I guess they come out... The show technically comes out Thursdays, but it's not fully subbed until Fridays because there's a sub team that works on it for Viki. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. You're the real MVPs.
Yeah, it gives you like a percent of how much of it is subbed.
So it's usually available by Friday nights, afternoons, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched it. Now, for those who don't know, I want to say it's like maybe a week ago, or like beginning of the week, maybe.
Yeah.
It would have had to been a week ago because we did our other episode last week. They released a little opening performance things.
Right.
They're like a little minute and a half long clips of them like dancing to a song, like being introduced and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning of this, they had this grand opening. It had like all the leaders showing up in like this, I guess, dungeon playing chess or something like that.
It was like super intense.
Because that's, the theme of the show. They're like king, queens, like whatever.
Queen, who will be the queen. Yeah.
And essentially had like a little intro to the leaders like, oh, like we want to have our time in this like limelight and it's time to like be noticed, blah, blah, blah. And then they'd go to their group and it would have like a little transition to their little performance.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd be like, your turn, and they'd pass, and there'd be another member of another group, and they'd go into their performance. That's how they introduced each group and each, they did a performance.
Yeah,
that's how they introduced other people.
Right? It was really cool. Yeah,
it was really sick. It was
so
intense.
It was like very intense, super kind of like dark theme, but like just competitive rivalry, all that with chess, and then it would be like your turn, and then they would go to the next group, and it would like sink into the performance that we saw a week ago. But it was like perfect. It was an awesome way. It was all the leaders. We're not sure about the Luna leader situation, but
yeah, that's kind of weird.
It was Eve, but yeah, it was really good.
That was sick. That opened it, and then of course we were thinking it. We weren't sure, but we were thinking it. The first 46 to 47 minutes of the show was the exact same as the preview that they put out last weekend that we watched. So if you watched that last weekend, you could literally skip to the first 47 minutes of this because that's all.
Yes, the whole.
Actually 50 because the beginning part. So the first literally half of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
skip
even if you really wanted to, the little dramatic chess scene was new. But the performances were all the same that we already saw. I mean, we watched them again because they're the best. But, once it got into the show, it was literally the whole thing, which we were wondering because when you found the episode, you're like, it's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And then once we saw the beginning was the performances, we were like, I wonder if they're just going to literally play
everything
we already saw in that, teaser first episode thing. And they did. So, yes, just a heads up, if you watch that, introductory where they walk
over the
out,
last, couple weeks where they got introduced,
and
sat in their seats.
And, kind of talked, and Taeyong comes out and just kind of, sets the tone for the show. It was, 45, 50 minutes. You can totally skip that, which, I mean, if you're watching it, you'll totally see, too, oh, I already saw this. But, yeah, that was just...
Or watch it again because it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we watched performances again, and then we skipped ahead just because we knew what was up, but...
And I'm not going to lie, I told him when we were watching it, I've seen it 4 times since we watched it.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it...
I was like, you know what, we can skip through this.
It's awesome. It's whatever you want to do, but that's just a friendly heads up if you're, thinking it's 2 hours long and you won't have time to watch it, but...
Also, for those of you who didn't watch it, if you want a recap of what it was, it basically had the seats laid out and all the groups came out one at a time, and they kind of awkwardly met each other because they weren't
super awkward.
I guess they don't know who's on the show. I don't know if it's true or not, but all the groups basically got introduced and they walked out one by one and oh yeah, this is Kepler, this is Brave Girls, this is Luna, this is all those people.
Right.
So that's essentially what it was, a little introduction to all the groups.
Set the tone for the show.
Then after that, they got to the part where they picked their rivals, which I don't really know what that has to do with the whole show in general.
Yeah, so far that doesn't
I don't know if that
mean
plays
anything.
a part later on or something.
Maybe later, because so far what we've seen, it has not really meant anything.
Because even the guys... Okay, so here, first off, Brave Girls picked BBZ or VVZs, whatever they are.
Yeah.
As their rivals. Then VVZ picked Hyolyn.
Yep.
Hyolyn picked Kepler.
Yep.
Kepler picked Luna.
Yep.
Luna picked WJSN. And then WJSN picked Hyolyn. And nobody picked Brave Girls, right?
Yeah.
Now, they all had different reasons why they picked them. They're oh, we looked up to you. We wanted to be like you, so we're going to challenge you.
Yeah.
Or,
it was all good honorable
Yeah, it wasn't you're my rival.
Because they kind of, they always make it dramatic. So when they initially would pick your rival, they kind of made it a little dramatic thing. And they're like, oh, they picked us? What? But then once the people would give their reason for picking, it was a very nice
and everyone's crying.
Complimentary, and people would go hug each other. And it was...
the complete opposite of picking rivals.
It was pretty much the opposite of the tone set, but that's just how it was. So yeah.
And the only group that did not get picked as a rival is Brave Girls.
Yeah, nobody picked Brave Girls.
And the announcer dude, I forgot what his name was. He was even
who this guy
you're the only one who didn't get picked, but don't worry, because there's more to this show than that. That doesn't really affect you in any way. And I'm like, then what was the point of that?
Yeah, and we don't even know.
It's kind of if any of you guys watch anime, there's always filler episodes. So if the season's 20 episodes and they need more, they'll put 3 episodes where nothing really happens, but it's
yeah.
Oh, they became stronger friends, or oh, they
maybe that's
went on this journey and found this thing. It's kind of that. It's just filler. I don't know why they did it. Unless in 4 episodes from now, remember that time you picked them as your rivals? But if that was the case, why did you not just do that before that episode started?
I have no idea. But yeah, they had the little big screen the big screen in the back with all the arrows of who's picking and everything, and yeah, it didn't really mean anything as of right now. So that's to be determined.
It would have made more sense if they called them out and yeah, we want to be better than you. You're not that great. Blah blah blah. Actual rivals. we're like, oh, we looked up you so much. Like, you were like our idol. We wanted to be like you, so challenge you.
Everyone was really
You made
nice.
us want to be better. And I'm like, what?
Everyone was really nice to each other, and like, it was I mean, it was fine. Like, it just didn't lead into anything that of the rest of this episode, so we don't really know where that's headed.
Yeah,
that's
so
all
like I said,
it's like all we can really say is like they have rivals, I guess now. And
We're only
Girls
one
doesn't.
episode into the 10th
but
episode season.
As
so.
of right now, it doesn't mean much. So
Then, after that happened, we got told they're doing their first performances, which is like, the theme was you have to perform your like signature song, like your
you got
most popular song or whatever.
They got this performers got to pick what one of their most like one of the ones they wanted to perform.
Essentially, yeah, that's what it was. Like, oh yeah, like what's a really popular song that you have?
Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, but they would like, I guess before the show started, they like picked, I don't know, what was it? What position they wanted to go, like what number they wanted to be. Like, did you want to go first, second?
Yeah.
Third, fourth, blah, blah, blah. And then they had to go up, and the guy, well, I guess they didn't really go up. The guy announced, like, who's going where. Like, oh, yeah, this is who wants to go in third place, Kepler.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yep.
Who wants to go first? And it was Vives, Vibes. Then it was like, who wants to go in fourth place, fifth place, sixth place? You know, like they picked wherever.
Right.
Now, what was weird, and I also didn't understand, was they had like, who was it? It was WJSN, Hyland, and Luna. All wanted to go sixth.
They wanted to go last.
And the reasoning was everybody like remembers the last person, or like they saved the best for last.
Like the main event.
Yes. So since all three of them tied, the guy's like, oh, we have to have like a discussion between the leaders of who's going to go where. I'm like, this is kind of weird, but sure. And then they went
had
up.
A powwow.
Yeah. And then they went up and like, okay, Luna, where are you going to go? And it was like, we'll just go fifth. And it was like, whoa.
And it was like very dramatic. And we were just sitting there like, all right, they moved up one.
All right, cool. And then WJSN like had this strategy they were going to do, which really didn't have anything to do with anything. I'm like, sixth place. It didn't change. And then Hyland had to go, and she like literally picked the only spot that was left, and she picked second. And everyone like freaked out about it.
They like, I don't know if it seemed like she was going to have the power to like move people, but she didn't. So I wasn't really sure if she even could.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't really say.
It was like very dramatic, but yeah, and she ended up just going second.
And it was like overly dramatic for no reason.
I didn't really understand that, just to pick the order. And they didn't even pick like, it wasn't even like between Luna, her, Hyland, and WJSN. It wasn't like they played like did anything to see who got the move out of that spot. It was just like Luna was like, all right, we'll go fifth. And then XC was like, all right, we'll stay here. And then, yeah, it was kind of odd, I guess. They're like, oh, is she going to move someone? But I was like, can you even do that? Like,
they were shocked, like, oh, she wants to go one now. Now they got to decide who's going to go one. But no, she just like put it in the empty spot.
It was just the empty spot. Yeah, so that was a little bit like.
So I didn't really understand that.
I didn't really get it, but I mean, you got to have an order, so there you go. Like,
unless it was like something that happened and like I said, the subtitles missed it or something like that.
Maybe there was like a word or two we kind of missed. But I mean, it all got worked out. It wasn't like, no, I need to stay at the sixth spot. It was the other people just kind of like accepted it.
Yeah, so your lineup ended up being one was Vives, Vibes, VVs.
We're just gonna say it however we want.
I honestly don't know. I know the way it's spelled out in like Hangul is VVZ.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because it's not even a word.
I
just like
I just like saying like all in like one syllable. Yeah, like
Vibes, Vives. But yeah, it's like VBZ is how it would be spelled out.
We'll just say it however.
But so Vives is 1, 2 was Hyland, 3 was Kepler, 4 was Brave Girls, 5 was Luna, and then 6 was WJSN.
Yes.
Now, after we did that, the only takeaway I got from the entire thing is that Vives is the most confident, sassy people in the entire world. They just like don't care. They're like, yeah, we picked to go first because we're gonna have the best performance and we're gonna go first and we're gonna win and be number one.
They are confident in their abilities. I respect it. They were excited for the chance to go first because no one else really wanted to.
And I'm not gonna lie, kind of into it. So
yeah, they're good.
It was awesome.
They're good.
Then Hyland was going number 2, and even though she wanted to originally go 6, she went number 2, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to do good wherever I go, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just also a confident legend out there.
Very confident in her abilities. Kepler said they wanted to go 3 because they wanted to just be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and they got
bring the rookie energy.
For some reason, got the first pick in 3, and so that's where they were. So
then 4 is Brave Girls. I don't know. They're there.
I don't even remember them being put forth, but they were. So
I don't either. And then, like I said, Luna and WJSN were like in a battle for 6 to be last, but they ended up being 5 and 6. Their whole reasoning was the best group goes last.
Yep. And so that's just where they are.
And then that's how that ended.
Yep.
And then we go to actual performance time. And lo and behold, we knew about this actually months, maybe not a month, maybe like 2-3 weeks before the show even started, that every person in Luna got COVID, so they couldn't take part in this part of the show.
Yep.
So I don't know if that automatically makes them 6, like finishing in 6th place because they didn't do anything. Because if this happened, and then like in a week later they get 6 again, they get kicked out of the show.
Yeah.
Or do they say like a nullified did not play?
Yeah, I would assume they're like last, but that clause, there's like a clause where if they're last again, they're not out. Because I don't know, we'll see. But I mean, they should be last. They weren't there.
That's what I'm saying.
By like default, just because like they can't be over someone that actually performed.
It's kind of like
that'd be very bogus.
It's kind of like an Iron Chef or something where guys have great meals, but they forget like one ingredient, so they're automatically like docked off.
Yeah,
and, like you forgot one of the ingredients, so we can't have you win this competition.
I would assume if when they come back, if they get last again, they'll be like, it's okay because you were not a participant in the first week. So you get like another week.
It's like at work when you got COVID to begin with. They like gave you like a leeway of 1 week. You got free to get better.
Yeah, and
you were still paid for it, but after that, you like had to use vacation.
Exactly.
time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So they got knocked off. So the lineup essentially stayed the same, except WJSN got moved up 1 spot because they're still the last group.
Yes.
And then it went into a little montage of them like preparing what they're going to perform.
It was kind of just like everyone arriving to the studio or
sitting in the little
big
rooms.
studio, just kind of like walking in out of the buses or their vans or whatever, just kind of like preparing. And then it did kind of get into like the first few people's like kind of their background and what they wanted to do. And
yeah, if you guys ever watch any produced shows or anything before they do a performance, they always hype them up and like show them working hard and deciding what they're going to do or struggling to see if they're going to be good or not.
Yeah.
And then they're always amazing.
You always like get to the performance and then there's always like the backtrack of like, this is the dance practice.
Like, you're questioning if this is the right decision.
This is like kind of the downfall of like, oh, did we pick the right thing? Oh, can we do it? Like the doubt part. And then you have to see them kind of like overcome that and get to the eventual like performance. So that's pretty much the exact same format as we had with this,
which is
great.
They just love putting a shadow of a doubt on something that's perfect. I don't understand it.
Oh, we know, and now kind of like watching multiple things, and especially girls playing it live, like we're like, okay, well there they go again. You know what I mean? So, but no, I mean that's a cool setup. I mean, just to kind of take it back and be like, all right, well this is how these people like figured out what they wanted to do and all that stuff. So,
and also before they did the performances, they had like 7 or 8 days or something like that. So they had time to prepare. If it wasn't like right after,
they had like a week or so or something like that.
And they had to like compose their stuff, whatever they wanted to do, come up with their choreography, get all their backup dancers, all their props, and whatnot,
and like practice and it just kind of showed that process.
And okay, so the first 2 groups that performed, the first group to perform was Vives.
Yeah.
And the second one is Highland. And I had the same question for both of them going into it, and that is, could they perform songs from their old groups that they were in? Because I would imagine in my head, and literally realistically in the world, there'd be some type of licensing or contractual thing that they couldn't do that because they're not in the same company with the same groups that made those songs.
Yeah.
But after watching this, clearly that's not the case and nobody cares. Or maybe Mnet bought the rights to the songs so they could perform them. I don't know.
There's just some kind of
because you hear
legal
about
thing.
You hear about groups leaving one company and going to another company, and they can't even keep their stage names because they're licensed by another company. So I'd be surprised if they did. Spoiler alert. If Vives is just like, we're gonna play any G-Friend song that we want, even though we don't own the rights to it and it belongs to this other company.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I mean,
personally, I think it's weird.
It is. I was with you. I didn't know what would happen, but I mean, I guess whatever the contract business stuff is between Mnet, Vives, their company, whatever, they're allowed to because they did. And they talked about G-Friend
a lot
to a very great extent.
Here's the other thing that
they were not shy about it at all. So there definitely is not going to be repercussions. they're definitely allowed to because that was a huge part of the episode.
The other thing that I thought was weird, I told you too when we were watching it, is how both of these groups, well, Vives is new, Highland's not, she's a solo artist. But the fact that they're on the show representing Vives and Highland, but they chose to do songs that were by groups that were in previously, it's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, you're on the show not promoting G-Friend, you're on the show promoting yourself. So if you have one song and it just happens to be your most popular song, that would be the song you'd perform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why would you go perform a song by a group you're not even in anymore that's not the group you're representing in the show?
I definitely thought it was a little more weird. I thought it was a little more weird for Vives to do the G-Friend than it was for Highland to do the Sistar stuff. I think just because Vives became Vives like not like a year ago. It was like so soon.
Yeah.
So it's like because Highland's been a soloist for a while now and she's like been in the industry forever. So it's like, okay, like if she's allowed to do a Sistar song, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like go for it. It's just Vives is like you are this group that we don't even know how to say the name and you're going back to like which I mean, it was cool. That was like to me I thought it was a little more weird that was kind of that was literally their like basis of the first performance.
And also, the whole show was like G-Friend. Like they even called former members of G-Friend and talked to them.
And like talked to them on the phone.
Like you're not on the show
and
as
they were like,
G-Friend. You're on the show as Vives.
And they were saying like, we are Vives G-Friend. Like they said that. They're like, we are. Which I mean, I guess, it's true. They did it for a long time. But it was like, that was such a big part of them was G-Friend.
Like, if LeBron signed to the Lakers and all it did is wear like Cavaliers gear all around, like, remember when I won the championship in Cleveland?
That's like really what it was.
Like, why does it matter? You don't represent them anymore.
That's like what it was, for them. So
for me, anyways, I thought that was strange. Like you chose, like I get it, they're really iconic songs, but it's weird that you chose to play those over your own music that you have for your own group that you're in right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe since they just have one, we'll see it later.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Since they don't have like a lot to choose from, it's like,
I just thought, like, hey, you should probably, like, I don't know, just represent what group you're part of instead of someone that's not even going to be there.
Yeah.
Just weird. But anyways, so Vives chose their song, and like I said a couple minutes ago, it was a G-Friend song. Well, two G-Friend songs, actually. It was like a mashup that they did.
Yeah, they did too.
And it was a mashup between their song, which I would never heard of before, but I've also not listened to a lot of G-Friend songs. They weren't my favorite.
Yeah, group. I mean, they just were like not one of our favorite groups. They weren't really even like.
Don't get us wrong; they're very popular.
I don't want to say,
legends.
We're not just like haters, like they stink. We just never really liked them.
We've said many times before. I've heard Me Gustas 2 and Love Whisper more than anybody probably should in their entire life.
Yeah, I mean, we just weren't necessarily into that style a ton.
But they played Time for the Moon Night, which I've never heard of.
Never heard that song.
But people were super hyped in the crowd for that. And then after that, they did that for a little bit, and then they played their classic song Rough.
Yep.
Which is honestly kind of a weird title for the song. But
yeah, I always thought that was strange.
They played Rough, and when I say they played Rough and everybody was like brought to tears, that's not an exaggeration. Like everybody, all the other girls in the other groups, the people in the crowd, touched by an angel.
They made the right choice to open it up just to get the people going.
Like I don't know how Uncio is going to go on and perform after that happened because she was like in an emotional, spiritual state right there.
There was a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of nostalgia for people. Honestly,
it's actually kind of funny because some of the other members, you could see it in their faces when they came out and they played that. They just had that like look of like being defeated, like shit, it's over already, like we lost.
Yeah, it's just like,
which I guess in their defense, they played it. It's an iconic song. It probably had a more emotional impact on everybody than playing Bop Bop would have. But that's also not your song. Well, I guess under Vives, it's not your song, but
yeah, I mean, I guess if they're allowed to do it, then bring the people to tears, I guess.
I don't know. It's weird. Oh, also just a random fact that doesn't really matter. They're talking about voting. There's like in-person voting, like in the crowd, because there's a crowd there. Fan voting on like line, I guess. It didn't really say how to do that.
Yeah, what the heck?
And then they had the future of Kpop, like other groups in the crowd that voted.
Yeah.
And it was like It was Drippin', MCND, Purple Kiss, and Woo-Ah. Like, all the members were, like, actually there in the crowd watching it. And they were all, speaking of being moved to tears and brought to awe, man, they were having the time of their lives out there.
You really could tell who they were in the crowd. Well, one, they didn't have to wear, like, the weird, creepy masks.
And they're very attractive.
But they're just way more beautiful than everyone else.
The other thing that's funny, when I was thinking about it, is a lot of these songs, it's kind of crazy to think about, though. Like, Rough and all that by G-Friend, and then, like, Highland song that she played when she was with Sistar. When those all came out and were super popular, these dudes were, like, 9, 10 years old. Like, that's, like, literally their childhood.
Yeah, that, like, literally, it really was, like, live nostalgia before their eyes. Like,
it was like me when I went to see Armor for Sleep play. Like, they were in a group for, like, a band, like an American band for a long time.
Yeah.
And they got back together for, like, one performance, like, 6 years ago when I was in Chicago, and I saw them play. And I was like, one of those things was, like, kind of like an unreal experience. 'Cause I'm like, I remember listening to this as a kid. I never thought I'd see this live.
Exactly.
And here we are. So it's like, that must be how they felt when they saw... Yeso said that.
Yeah, she said she used to listen to it in middle school and used to cry in middle school.
And, like, got her through tough times.
And so there you go. I mean, why would she not be emotional about, like,
that's
a
just
song
crazy.
that's, like, stuck her through tough times and, like...
It's just crazy to think about. It's like, yeah, we had this song in, like, 2015, 2016. Like, yeah, I was, like, 8 years old.
Yeah, and now for them, you don't get to see it in, like, kind of the... You know, they don't... It's a different group. So it's not like they're gonna go play that all the time. So it's kind of like a very...
This might have been the last time she
kind of like
a
special time for them to actually see these people who did it originally. You know, some of them do it again. So
yeah,
it was definitely you could just tell from the people's faces how deep and, like, emotional of a moment.
The fans were literally crying
in, like, a good way. Yeah, and I wanted to just say shout out too. There was fans there.
A lot of fans.
There was
it was packed.
Awesome. They had the very creepy, scary masks, but that's okay.
Oh God, I hate those.
It's so scary. I hate those masks.
Especially
so
in a
much.
huge group and, like, a wide shot.
They look like weird, like, rabid zombies.
They do.
But shout out to them being there and, like, having that live crowd reaction, because we didn't have any of that with Girls Planet. It was just, like, an empty room. So it was cool to kind of have that aspect and, like, see there was a lot of people. And yeah, the setup for this is incredible. Like,
I was gonna say,
we
before
talking
talking about Highland,
yeah, we should talk about how
the budget for this so much higher than what it was for first
the
Queendom.
real winner of today is the stage crew and the stage setup team, because my gosh, it is so cool.
So far, based off what the first two performances, I don't think. Well, there's still time, but I think they might have put a little more money into the Kingdom stages because those were crazy. And they're like multiple stages put together.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get there.
But for these first performances, my gosh.
This was such
There's pyrotechnics, fire, confetti.
There's multiple levels with stairs, and then there was the top level moved up and down in multiple areas.
Yeah. So, I mean...
and then all of it was like a screen, so you could have very cool visuals.
It
was very big too, where you could have a ton, because we saw both groups. Freaking Vives had a whole orchestra at the top for a while, like, so a lot of people could fit on this stage. The presentation was like so good. It was like A++ so far. I was very impressed with it, and it's like made the show. I mean, even everything, even the beginning intro part with their like hallway intro.
They definitely put money into it.
It's so whoever designs this stuff is like so good, and I really love that part of it so far.
So that was sick. Also, shout out to whoever does the graphics on the back, like giant Titantron thing they got.
Cool. It's so cool. I think we just love Titantron aspects, but it's so dope. Especially for Highlands.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so okay. So Highland, right? So she was trying to decide what kind of song she wanted to do. If she wanted to do a Sistar song, or if she wanted to do like her own songs.
This is how deep into it she was. She was YouTubing herself.
Yeah, she was watching her own YouTube
and watching
videos.
YouTube videos of Sistar and herself
performing
to really find out what hit her the right way that she needed to perform.
She basically decided, hey, you know what? It's time to just go back to the old bread and butter. And we're doing...
Touch My Body.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of it. They're doing Touch My Body. And she did like this whole like tropical rainforest party theme thing, and my god, it was crazy.
It was really cool seeing her kind of behind the scene thing too, of just kind of how she was like thinking through it, picking the song. She was like designing it on like a diagram on the stage with someone,
and she like went out and bought her own like foliage and leaves.
Went to like a freaking flower shop and was just like in there getting like stepped over by normal people, just like on the ground buying these big leaves that she wants for. She really just like, you could see the vision kind of like grow in her head, and that was pretty cool because like goodness, it was such a good stage.
And if you watch that video, that is the perfect example of a solo artist and how solo artists can overtake, like, even when there's like tons of people as backup dancers.
Oh yeah,
they just overtake the whole stage with their stage presence, and they just like rock the whole thing on their own.
It's
like that's a solo artist.
It's probably an exaggeration, but like of these shows we've watched, and certain like all have stages, I can't think of ones that like were overall like better than that. There might be ones I might have liked more, but like as far as like production,
not even close.
Like Highlands like might have been like the best. It was so great. Everything about it was so perfect. Just everything was good. The outfits were great. She had, like you said, she had a ton of backup dancers. So many backup dancers, but you never doubted who was like the star and like in charge on this stage.
It was ridiculous.
She just like demanded the attention, and you know, she had her live vocals and sounded great, and just everything about it. After we watched the first stage, I was like, wow, this is really good. The bar's so high, I don't know how it can be better. And then like that's how I feel about Highlands too. I'm like, wow, the bar's so high, even higher now. Like,
yeah, I was like, man, I bet the other groups feel bad about going at the end, because I don't know how you follow that, because that's like...
She was so...
Did she win already?
She was so great. And just the presentation of it was so cool. The Titantron thing was awesome. There was she had fire for a little while. Like, I was like, man, this is the opening stage? Like...
And I told Justin too, I was like, yo, these are not your produced series stages. Like, these are like polished, extremely good stages.
Yeah, these are
these are just the first two of the first opening stages. These aren't even... I don't know, there's so many more stages to go through with this show. And this is like... The bar's already at like a 10.
It makes me so pumped because it's been so... I mean, even the Vives stage, in the two kind of mashup songs they did, I mean, not even maybe our style, but
crushed
like
it.
They were 10 out of 10 perfect. I didn't think anyone was even going to be as good as them. I didn't think Highland was being as good as them, and her style of music I like more than them. But like, I'm just so amazed how good it's been. Like, they're just like not holding back at all, and that's what's like really cool. It's like you can tell the effort and like the want to be good is like so high for everyone so far.
I'm just so
it's just like it's so like promising for the rest of the show.
To see like Kepler.
Oh.
And see, like, I'm actually kind of really disappointed we don't get to see Luna do theirs, because that's gonna be sick.
I'm so sad about that. Luckily, they're back though. That was really a bummer because theirs would have been sick.
But
I was like blown away with both of the performances.
And that was like pretty much what the first episode was, because it's going to continue into the next episode next week.
Yeah, that was the first
with the other
episode.
Performances. I'm glad I didn't see any of the spoilers or any of the video postings of the performances, because my gosh, that blew me away.
It's always just the best to not have anything spoiled. I never understood the people who like enjoyed having things spoiled, because it's so fun to just be able to like watch it, not live, but like watching it for the first time, just being like, whoa, that was sick. Like, we maybe saw a couple stage outfits here and there, but we didn't watch any of the performances, and I'm so glad we didn't, because they were like both 10 out of 10 perfect. Like, that's how I would rate both of those. Like, I
can't wait for next week.
I can't say like anything bad about either one of them.
It's gonna be sick.
Or like anything even negative at all. I've been so impressed. I'm just excited where it's gonna go and like how kind of big they're gonna make it. So, yeah, it's just like introductions now too. We haven't even like
we haven't really gotten like the concept of the show.
Like
it's just them performing. They're like, this is almost like an extended introduction into the groups, because they're doing their own.
Because they're just doing their own thing. Because we thought maybe since they were doing this whole little rivals deal, which we could have this in the future, and I feel like we will, they were gonna do each other's stuff.
Oh, they definitely will. That's like one of the big things. I think there's maybe 3 stages and then the final stage.
Yeah.
So
it'll be somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was literally just like hey, pick a song you want to perform that represents you. Like what song that you made that you want to do. And it's been super sick. So I'm really excited we have 3 more, right?
Next week's going to be awesome.
Kepler,
Brave Girls, and WJSN.
So I'm assuming Brave Girls is going to do Rollin'.
They have to.
That would be, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
If they don't do Rollin', I'm never going to cover the rest of the show.
I just have no idea why they wouldn't. Kepler will do Wada Da because maybe they'll do a mashup. Maybe they'll do a mashup of a couple songs. I have no idea what WJ.
I don't know what WJ.
There's a lot of music.
Based off the choreography it showed in the little teaser, it almost looked like they were going to do like Save Me, Save You, but I feel like that'd be an interesting choice. Maybe As You Wish.
Yeah. I don't.
It's also kind of hard for me to pick because I like all their songs. So I don't know what their best
they just
songs
have
are.
a lot of great songs.
Just do Catch Me.
That would be so sick. I don't know. I mean, Mnet did their thing at the end of the episode, so
yeah, I don't
really know what to expect.
I'm not going to buy too much into the Mnet sad train vibes.
Because they hit it hard. I don't know why it had to be WJSN. But yeah, I don't know. Something will happen, and I'm sure it's not going to be as bad as what Mnet portrayed at the end of the episode, because it never is. So I'm sure it'll be fine. But we don't really know what stage WJSN is going to perform.
Man,
but we'll find out.
Luna do High.
I just really wish we could have had Luna because I'm so happy they're back in my life on a full-time basis now.
We actually watched so many Luna videos.
We just have been, and I was thinking, I might want them to win the whole thing, and then now they're not even here. So, but they'll be back. So far, this has been like the greatest. Like from, I mean, I guess technically last week and this week are kind of the same thing, but A+ for Queendom.
Yeah, love it.
I already am dreading it being over.
I hope you guys like it as much as we do. I had some people comment on our video from last week, so if you have any opinions or what you think about the show or
I'd love to hear what people say.
Anything like that, just hit us up and we'll talk to you about it.
I feel like we're pretty optimistic about stuff because I did see people not being big fans of the little intro things. But whatever. I don't know. I thought they were sick. I don't know how anyone could not like these 2 stages, though. Like, they were so great.
I don't either.
They just worked so hard and did such a good job. And, it was perfect.
Let us know what you guys think they should have done for songs.
I just want to know what the people think about the stages.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the stages.
I can't wait for someone to just be like, boring. I'm like, okay, well, that's tough. But, yeah, I think that pretty much covers episode 1. I assume next week will be just the other 3 performances.
Which I'm super excited about.
I'm so excited for them.
I feel like it'll probably be...
And then maybe a little...
it'll probably be the next 3 performances, then like a little thing that shows us what their next challenge is going to be.
Where are we going to, and then that'll kind of be the dramatic end of like what's up.
Yeah.
Does everyone stay in a dorm? I don't think so.
I have no idea.
That would be fun. But I don't think they do that. Because everyone already has a place to stay.
True.
So... I think I get wrapped up too much in like it's not Girls Planet. I gotta just tell them it's not exactly Girls Planet. So, but yeah, I think that
does it.
That kind of wraps it up for episode 1. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back next week with more
episode 2.
Girls Planet.
We're gonna have a reaction video to the 2 performances today too. So look out for that on YouTube.
Check out our reactions to the 2 stages that we literally just praised for like this whole time. So you'll see how much we liked it.
True.
But that does it for us. I'm JT and he's Fogra. We will catch you guys next week. We are the Kpop Kimchi Podcast. We love you guys. Peace.
Later.